about Braden Schneider, and in your eyes, when he's playing his best, what are you seeing from him?
I see a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. I see good defense. I see physicality. I see good movement out of our end. I see him attacking with speed through the neutral zone, looking to generate, trying to generate. I see offensive plays. I think he brings a little bit. I don't know if there's just one avenue that he does well. He seems to, when he's on his game, he seems to do everything and can contribute in a lot of different factors.
He was talking about the consistency factor, and that's kind of what he's striving for.
Yeah.
He was disappointed with that game before Christmas, but it seems like he's responded pretty well. So what are you seeing as far as that evolution of responding and growing that consistency?
I think he's a young defenseman that is getting better. The more experience you get, and to me, toughest maybe, short of goaltender, I guess, but just for a young player, it's a tough position to come in and figure out top lines and their skill and the reads, and there's a lot that goes on and into that. And I think the more experience you get, the more growth you can have as a player. And so he's in that stage, and he's played really well for us in a lot of games this year. And so, his evaluation, I think that sometimes it's good to be honest about yourself and your game, and then try to grow off of that and build off of that. And he certainly is. He's had a lot of good games for us.
You've scored a fair number of goals 5-on-5 over the last week or so. Are there, when you're scoring 5-on-5, are there factors that you can identify, like this is what we're doing well? When you're struggling 5-on-5, are the same factors? This is what we're not doing well. Are they consistent, do you think?
I remember at the beginning of the year, we weren't scoring, even in the exhibition games and to start the regular season. I kept wanting for more 5-on-5 goals, and really what I was wanting for was more 5-on-5 looks, more opportunity, and chances to create and chances to score. I think that regardless of whether the pucks are going in the net or not, if you're doing the right things offensively, like down in Florida, for instance, I thought that we pushed and tried to create the entire game. And so there's been more of that lately, where we're going as 5-man units. We're trying to score off the rush. We're trying to score in zone. We're trying to score off face-off plays and trying to get looks. And so I think that players get comfortable with an understanding of how we're going to move out on the ice from a defensive standpoint and from an offensive standpoint. And so offensively, I do think it's gotten a lot better since the beginning of the year. The actual goals, well, then it comes down to different things, I think, as well. Do we have net front presence? Do we have another option that the goalie has to think about? Are we putting enough volume on the net? Are we taking the best chances? Are we fighting for the best ice? And so I think that these things go into that to try and create 5-on-5 as well. So I do think it's gotten better from the beginning of the year, and we look to just try and stay consistent with that.
With Adam Fox, he's getting his points. He hasn't scored a goal in a long time. Does that matter as a defenseman if he's not scoring goals, but he's still getting assists and making plays?
He's making a lot of plays. I mean, I think he is a look first, pass first type of defenseman, and so he's probably playing to his strengths. And everybody wants to contribute. That would be in the question for him, whether it matters to him whether he's creating assists or he's creating goals, and whether that factors into his game. I think since he's come back from the injury, he continues to try and push and create both 5-on-5 and power play. And so it's, to me, there's still production there. I think he's point a game or close to point a game with what he's doing, which is impressive. And I think coming off the injury, it takes a minute to get back up to speed. But I think he's doing that. I think he's creating. I don't get the sense that because he hasn't scored, he's down, or he's feeling that he doesn't come back to the bench frustrated because he didn't score in the first 2 periods and it's affecting his third period. To me, he's helping our team be successful. We're finding ways to win hockey games. He's creating by using one of his strengths, which is finding other people with the puck.
Peter's power play's been so good and consistent. There's teams that have high-end guys that play together on a power play and don't always make it work because they have things that don't mesh. Do you feel like when you watch your guys, it's such a complete complete five-man unit that they work so well together? Is that the main reason why they've had so much success?
I think there's some continuity with our guys, like they've been together and they understand what they're doing and where they're moving to, and it's not stagnant. It doesn't just sit in one place, and the players don't just sit in one spot and wait for something to happen. If they start somewhere and it's not effective, they move the whole unit around, and I think the fact that it can become interchangeable makes it a little bit more difficult to defend. I also think that there's people that are really good inside of the set positions, whether it be the guy at the top or whether it be the guy at the net front or the guy in the middle. I think there's guys that are really good at what they do, but they also have the ability to move and create as well.
Vincent Trocheck was a part of Carolina's system. Now that was a number of years back, but do you talk with Vincent about maybe some inside small details in Carolina's game that could give you an advantage?
I don't typically talk to. I mean, we go through the scouts and we go through the video. If there's ever questions, we talk. The video coach will try to gather a little bit of information from that. But with regard to going to ex-players, and I'm not saying it never happens because it does. But is it something we consistently do? Not me anyway. We had our meeting already this morning about Carolina. We went through, a pretty substantial number of clips, and then we'll take that information and whittle it down and give it to the players.